Good evening, and welcome to this quiet corner of the night. I'm so glad you're here. You've found your way to a peaceful moment, a resting place of story and soft imagination, where the world can loosen its grip on you for a while, and you can simply breathe, just breathing, in and out, slowly, gently, letting the weight of the day dissolve, melting away like snow touched by morning sun. If you'd like, make yourself a little more comfortable. Adjust your pillow, your blanket, your shoulders, until your body feels supported, safe, and ready to drift. Feel the cool night air around you and the warm, quiet comfort within you, balancing, harmonizing, softening, like gentle ripples spreading across a still pond. Tonight, I will take you across oceans of time to the whispering shores of ancient Japan, a land of misty mountains, silver moonlit waves, and old stories carried through generations in the breath of fishermen, in the songs of storytellers, and in the hush of bamboo forests swaying at dusk. The tale we are about to share is one of the most beloved in Japanese folklore. A gentle, mysterious, and enchanting legend of the fisherman Taro, a man whose kindness opened the doors to a kingdom beneath the sea, the shimmering dragon palace, known as Ryugu-jo. You may have heard fragments of this story: the fisherman who saved a turtle, the palace of jewels and drifting corals, the enchanted box he was told never to open, the curious bending of time. But tonight, we will explore this legend in a deeper, slower, more tranquil way, a version designed not to excite, but to soothe, to calm your mind, like a slow tide returning to shore. As you listen, you might imagine the quiet splash of oars on moonlit water, the feeling of cool sand beneath your feet, or the shimmering glow of an underwater palace where time drifts like bubbles through clear blue depths. So let this be your invitation to release all urgency, to loosen all expectations, to let the world outside fade gently, softly, until only your breath and this story remain. Tonight, we breathe, we soften, and we follow a kind fisherman on a journey that has comforted listeners for more than 1,000 years. You are safe here, you are welcome here, the night holds you gently, and the story begins, like the slow rise of mist over a sleeping sea. In the distance, imagine a shoreline at twilight, waves rolling in with a quiet hush, as though the ocean itself is breathing with you. The sky is painted in serene shades of lavender, pale gold, and deepening blue. A few early stars appear, twinkling like tiny lanterns in the heavens. And there, in a humble fishing village where wooden boats rest on the sand and lanterns glow warmly from cottage windows, lived a young fisherman named Taro. But before we step into his simple, gentle world, let us take a few more soft breaths together, in and out, like waves. Let your mind drift as lightly as a leaf on water into the ancient rhythms of old Japan. Soon, we will walk along the shoreline of history to understand the world that shaped this story. But for now, just rest here, in the soft space between breaths, quiet, calm, open, and when you are ready, we will journey gently into the history, the culture, and the world that gave birth to the legend of Taro and the Dragon Palace. Before we continue, just a gentle moment here together. If these quiet stories help you relax, If they bring you calm or help you drift more peacefully into sleep, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It truly helps support these stories and allows me to keep creating more gentle journeys through history, myth, and ancient worlds. And if you'd like, you can turn on the notification bell so these calm stories can find you whenever you need rest or a quiet moment at the end of the day. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for sharing this peaceful space with me. Now let us continue our journey. Take another slow breath with me, in and out, letting your shoulders relax, letting your thoughts become quiet, light, like small feathers resting on still water. For the story of Taro is not just a tale. It is a window into the rhythms of ancient Japan, a place where the sea was a provider, a guardian, and sometimes a doorway into wonder. Imagine now the coastline as it might have appeared over 1,000 years ago, a thin stretch of pale sand curving gently along the edge of the world, waves rolling in with soft, even breaths, pine trees leaning toward the sea breeze as though listening to secrets carried on the wind. In those times, life moved slowly, in harmony with the seasons, with the tides, and with the quiet turning of nature. Fishing villages dotted the shores, simple wooden homes with thatched roofs, boats pulled onto the sand after long nights at sea, and nets hung out to dry in the morning sun. At dawn, fishermen would rise before the sky brightened, walking barefoot across cool sand, their silhouettes framed by the faint glow of the horizon. The scent of salt, of damp wood, of early morning mist filled the air like a gentle welcome. Children played by the water's edge, drawing shapes in the wet sand, chasing tiny crabs that scurried into tide pools. Their laughter mingled with the calls of seabirds and the steady rhythm of the bucket waves. Women tended to seaweed baskets, prepared rice for the day, and watched for boats returning over the gleaming water. At night, the village grew peaceful and dim. Lanterns flickered behind paper windows. Cicadas hummed softly in the warm months, while winter winds whispered through bamboo fences with long, mournful sighs. It was within this quiet, gentle world that stories, deep, ancient stories, were born. Stories whispered by elders sitting around small fires. Stories carried on long journeys by wandering monks. Stories shared by fishermen who gazed into the dark waves and wondered what spirits might dwell beneath. Among these stories was the tale of a palace under the sea, the palace of the Dragon King, a realm known as Ryugu-jo. In Japanese culture, dragons were not fearsome monsters. They were guardians, beings of water, givers of rain, protectors of balance in nature. To speak of a dragon palace was not to imagine danger, but harmony, beauty, endless calm. It is said that the palace walls were made of coral glowing like jewels, with gates shaped from massive seashells that shimmered with every movement of the tide. Fish of every color drifted like lanterns. Jellyfish glowed like floating moons, and the halls echoed softly with the heartbeat of the ocean itself. For centuries, villagers would gather at dusk, repairing their nets as the day faded, firelight flickering on their weathered faces, the sea humming in the darkness, and someone, often an elder with a calm, deep voice, would begin the story. Long ago, there was a fisherman named Taro, and the younger ones would lean closer, their minds drifting like tiny boats on gentle waves. Stories were not entertainment alone. They were lessons, comfort, and connection, a way to understand the world and the forces that shaped it. The story of Taro and the Dragon Palace is part of a tradition called Otogi Banashi, companion tales told beside fires, beside futons, beside the dark singing sea. These tales carry the wisdom in soft, beautiful imagery. They taught respect for nature, for creatures of the ocean, for the unseen powers that move quietly beneath the surface of life. They also taught humility, that the world is vast, and humans are but small travelers moving across its ever-changing tides. In the world of ancient Japan, it felt entirely possible that a man might rescue a small turtle, that the turtle might be more than what it appeared, and that kindness could open the doors to a realm of shimmering mystery beneath the surface of the sea. Taro's story traveled far, from village to village, woven into songs, poems, woodblock prints, changing slightly each time, but always carrying the same gentle heart, the heart of kindness, and the soft truth that the natural world is alive with spirits and wonder. Now that we have settled into the world that gave birth to this tale, let us return, slowly, to the shoreline where Taro lived, to the cool morning air, the soft rustle of pine trees, and the gentle breath of the sea waiting to reveal its secrets. Before we step deeper into the story, take a moment to settle even more comfortably. Allow your body to grow heavier, your breathing slower, your thoughts softer, as if your mind is drifting on gentle waves beneath a warm twilight sky. Now, let the legend unfold. Long ago, in a small fishing village embraced by the sea, lived a young fisherman named Taro. Taro was known by all for his gentle nature, his calm voice, and the kindness in his eyes. He moved with quiet purpose, never rushed, never harsh, as though he carried with him the steady rhythm of the tides themselves. Every morning, before the first hint of sunlight, Taro walked across the cool sand, his feet sinking softly into the damp shoreline. He carried his nets over his shoulder, listening to the slow breath of the ocean welcoming a new day. Villagers spoke fondly of him. Some said he was born on a night when shooting stars crossed the sky. Others whispered that the sea favored him, for his fishing lines always returned with good catch, even on quiet days when others found little. But Taro never boasted. He remained humble, grateful, moving gently through life as though every moment were a small blessing. One morning, as the first pale colors of dawn touched the horizon, Taro walked along the shore as usual. The tide was low, leaving wide stretches of glossy sand that reflected the sky like a mirror of soft gold and quiet blue. Gulls drifted overhead. The cool morning air carried the scent of salt and distant pine. As he walked, Taro noticed a group of children gathered near the water's edge. Their voices were loud, excited, but something in their tone did not sound joyful. He approached quietly, and as he drew closer, he saw what they were doing. In the shallow surf lay a small turtle, its shell glistening wet in the new light. The children were poking at it with sticks, laughing, treating it as a toy. A soft ache touched Taro's heart. He stepped forward, his voice gentle but firm. "Children, please stop. That creature feels pain just as we do. Let it be." The children paused, surprised by the calmness in his tone. Taro knelt down and gently lifted the small turtle from the sand. The waves washed over his hands, cool and soothing, and the tiny creature blinked up at him with dark, round eyes that seemed to hold something more than simple instinct. "Go home now," Taro murmured to the children. "Respect even the smallest life." They hesitated, then slowly wandered off, their mischief dissolving into the morning breeze. Taro carried the turtle a little deeper into the sea, lowering it carefully, allowing the warm water to cradle the small creature. The turtle paused for a moment, as though offering silent thanks, then swam away with gentle strokes of its tiny flippers. Taro watched the ripples fade. A faint smile touched his lips. He felt no pride, only a quiet warmth from having done something kind, something simple, something right. He returned to his small wooden boat, pushed it into the gentle surf, and began another day on the open sea. Days drifted by, and the memory of the little turtle became a soft, distant echo in Taro's thoughts. Life returned to its gentle rhythm. But one afternoon, as Taro sat in his boat beneath a warm, golden sky, he felt a sudden, gentle bump against the side of the hull. He leaned over, and what he saw made him blink in wonder. A large turtle, far bigger than the one he had saved, floated beside his boat. Its shell glowed faintly as though touched by moonlight, even in the brightness of day. Its eyes were deep, calm, ancient, holding a quiet intelligence. Taro thought perhaps he was dreaming. But then, a soft voice filled his mind, not spoken aloud, but echoing gently within. "Kind fisherman," the voice said, "you saved my child from harm. For this, our family owes you gratitude deeper than the sea." Taro felt the warm breeze on his skin, the gentle rocking of the boat, yet everything around him seemed to fade into stillness. The turtle continued. "My daughter, the little one you rescued, begged me to bring you to our home beneath the waves. Our princess wishes to thank you herself." Taro's breath slowed. He did not feel fear, only calm wonder, for he had grown up hearing stories of sea spirits, dragon kings, hidden palaces beneath the water. But he never imagined he might see such things with his own eyes. The large turtle lifted its head. "If you come with me, I will guide you safely to the palace of the Dragon King, to the shining halls of Ryugu-jo." The sea shimmered around them, as though agreeing. Taro looked toward the horizon, the golden light of afternoon fading into a rosy glow. A breeze touched his cheek, carrying a scent of mystery, like the whisper of a faraway dream. He nodded slowly. "Yes, I will come." And so, with calm curiosity, Taro placed his trust in the ancient turtle who glided beside him like a silent guardian. He did not know what wonders awaited him in the depths below, only that his journey, a journey shaped by kindness, had begun. Before we sink beneath the waves, take one more soft breath. Let your mind become calm, fluid, quiet, like still water touched by moonlight. Now, the journey continues. The great turtle glided closer to Taro's boat, its shell shimmering gently, like a piece of the night sky fallen onto the waves. "Hold onto my back," the turtle's voice whispered inside Taro's mind. "Do not fear the water. The sea will cradle you as gently as a mother holds her child." Taro inhaled softly, feeling the warm ocean breeze brush against his cheek. Then he slipped into the water, surprised by its warmth, like entering a dream where everything feels light and familiar. He placed his hands on the turtle's broad shell, and the creature began to descend, smooth, effortless, into the deepening blue. At first, the light of the surface glimmered above him in trembling gold. He expected to hold his breath, to feel pressure building, but no. He found he could breathe freely, each breath tasting faintly of salt and something sweet, like dew resting on seaweed at dawn. Down they went, gently, slowly, as though sinking through layers of soft blue silk. Small fish darted past, their scales glistening like scattered stars. Tiny bubbles rose around them like little pearls climbing toward the sunlight. Corals appeared in the shadows, fans of red, orange, lavender, moving ever so slightly with the silent current. Long kelp strands floated around them, brushing Taro's skin like cool fingertips, soft, fleeting. As they descended deeper, the water darkened, but never felt frightening. Instead, it felt like twilight, peaceful, slow, full of quiet secrets. Then, in the distance, a soft glow appeared, faint as fireflies in summer bamboo, then brighter, rippling in hues of jade, sapphire, and pale pearl. The turtle's voice echoed. "We are approaching the Dragon Palace, the realm of Ryugu-jo." The glow unfolded before them, like a sunrise blooming underwater. Turquoise towers rose from the ocean floor, their walls made of coral that shimmered as though woven from starlight. Huge shells formed archways, their curved surfaces reflecting rainbow shades with each gentle movement of the sea. Pearl lanterns hung from delicate coral pillars, each lantern glowing softly, pulsing like a heartbeat in time with the tides. The palace was grand, but not in an overwhelming way. It was serene, alive, breathing with the sea itself, a place built from harmony, curves, colors, and the quiet language of the ocean. At the entrance, a group of sea creatures gathered, crabs with gem-like shells, fish with long flowing fins that shimmered like silk, tiny seahorses sparkling in gold and silver hues, all fluttering in greeting. The great turtle slowed, allowing Taro to step onto the palace steps. "Welcome," the turtle murmured, "to the heart of the sea." Taro took a breath, feeling all swirl gently within him. Then a new glow approached, soft, warm, beautiful, like candlelight shining through water. From the palace doors appeared a woman. Her beauty, quiet, radiant, timeless. Her long black hair drifted behind her as though suspended in the ocean's embrace. Her kimono shimmered with patterns of waves, threads of silver and blue glinting like moonlit tide foam. Her eyes were gentle, deep, and full of kindness, like calm tide pools under a summer dawn. "Welcome, Taro," she said in a soft, warm voice. "I am Otohime, daughter of the Dragon King, and the turtle you saved was me." Taro felt wonder wash over him, a feeling warm as sunlight, soft as drifting sea foam. He remembered the tiny creature struggling in the surf. He never imagined it could be a princess of the deep. Otohime bowed her head slightly. "I wished to thank you myself for the kindness you showed me. Please, come inside. Our family welcomes you." Taro followed her into the palace, where everything glowed with soft underwater light. Musicians played on instruments shaped from shells, flutes like pale spirals, harps made from coral branches, drums stretched with shimmering fish skin. Their music floated like drifting bubbles, soft, light, a lullaby of the sea. In the banquet hall, dishes shimmered on long coral tables, sashimi that glowed like lantern light, sea grapes that burst sweetly like drops of the ocean's own nectar, and warm soups that tasted of sunlight resting on waves. Taro felt surrounded by peace, beauty, and kindness. Time drifted strangely. Days felt like moments, or moments felt like days. In Ryugu-jo, time breathed differently, slow, gentle, like the rise and fall of the tides. Taro wandered through gardens where glowing jellyfish floated like lanterns. Coral trees shimmered with petals like moon dust, and the eternal hum of the sea echoed comfortingly through every hall. When he grew tired, Otohime guided him to soft resting places, woven of sea foam and silk, warm, weightless, a perfect cradle for dreaming. For a while, Taro felt he could stay forever. The days brought no burden, only calm, beauty, and the gentle companionship of Otohime. But even in a perfect palace, the human heart remembers home. One evening, as lantern light rippled across the coral walls, Taro stood alone in a quiet garden. He looked upward, though there was no sky, only drifting lights, and he felt a soft ache. He thought of his village, his family, his boat waiting on the sand, the simple life he once knew. "I wonder how they are," he whispered. Otohime appeared by his side, as though the sea itself had carried her to him, her expression tender, understanding. "The sea grants peace," she murmured, "but the human heart always remembers the shore that shaped it." Taro nodded. "I have been so happy here, but part of me belongs above the waves." Otohime touched his arm softly. "Yes, then you must go, for love does not bind, it releases." Her eyes, gentle and deep, carried a truth he had not yet seen, a truth the sea had been holding quietly. But the moment to reveal it had not yet come. And with that, Taro prepared to return to the world above. Before we return with Taro to the quiet world above the waves, take a slow breath. Let your mind grow still, like a calm ocean at dusk. Now, let us follow him toward the final turn of his journey. Otohime led Taro into a quiet chamber deep within the palace. The walls glowed softly with shades of turquoise and pale green. Currents drifted across the floor like silk, moving in a gentle breeze. In the center of the room rested a small ornate box, smooth, lacquered in deep red, with delicate patterns of gold waves shining across its surface. A white ribbon circled it, glowing faintly as though woven from strands of moonlight. Otohime lifted the box with both hands and offered it to Taro. "This is a tamatebako," she whispered, "a treasure box." Taro accepted it carefully. The wood felt warm beneath his fingers, as if it held something alive, something waiting. Otohime's gaze was tender, but behind her calm eyes rested a quiet sorrow. "Take this with you to your world," she said softly. "It will protect you. Keep it close, but promise me, promise that you will never open it." Her voice trembled ever so slightly, not from fear, but from love, from the gentle ache of two paths beginning to separate. Taro bowed his head. "I promise," he whispered. "I will honor your gift." Otohime smiled, a warm, sad, beautiful smile, like lantern light shimmering on rippling water, and she said no more. The great turtle returned, waiting to carry Taro back. through glowing halls of coral, past drifting jellyfish lanterns, and through the magnificent gates of Ryugu-jo. Otohime walked beside him to the palace steps. "Remember," she said softly, "you will always have a home here." Her hand brushed lightly against Taro's cheek, cool and soft like the touch of sea foam. The turtle dipped low. Taro climbed onto its back, and as he looked back, he saw a single tear rise from Otohime's face, floating upward like a tiny pearl, lost in the shimmering water. "Farewell, kind Taro." Her voice echoed softly, fading like a dream carried on the tide. The journey upward felt unreal. The water shifted from deep indigo to sapphire to pale blue as sunlight filtered through in trembling beams. Schools of silver fish glided past like drifting stars. Seaweed swayed slowly, as if waving goodbye. Then, with a gentle splash, the turtle surfaced, and Taro felt warm sunlight kiss his skin. For a moment, everything seemed familiar, comforting, but something was different. The shore was quiet, strangely quiet. The landscape felt older, emptier. Taro stepped onto the sand. He held the tamatebako close, like a small heartbeat in his hands. He walked toward the village. But the paths had changed. The houses were different. Some gone, others newly built. But not by any hand, he knew. Where his family home once stood, there was only a patch of earth overgrown with grass. He wandered, slowly, heart tightening, as he searched for something familiar, someone familiar. Villagers noticed him. They whispered softly, "Who is that? Where did he come from?" Finally, an old man approached, his face carved with deep lines, his eyes kind but cautious. "You seem lost, young man," the elder said quietly. "Where do you come from?" Taro's voice was a trembling whisper. "I grew up here. Where is the Urashima family?" The elder blinked, confused, then startled. "The Urashima family," he murmured. "They lived here. Yes. But that was long ago. 300 years have passed since their time. 300 years. The words drifted into Taro like a cold tide, like a truth too heavy to understand all at once. He looked around at the changed faces, the changed homes, the changed world, and he realized the time he spent in Ryugu-jo, the days that felt like moments, had been centuries in the human world. His family was gone. His village had changed. And he no longer belonged to the world he once knew. The villagers whispered. Could he be the fisherman of the old tale, the one who disappeared into the sea? Taro stepped away, quietly, slowly, his heart a gentle ache, not sharp, just deep, like longing carried on the wind. He looked down at the box in his hands, the tamatebako, Otohime's gift, and her plea. Do not open it. But what did he have now? His home was gone. His time was gone. Everyone he knew was long returned to dust. A soft sadness swept through him, a desire to understand, to see, to know what remained for him. He lifted the lid, just a little. White mist rose from the box, gentle, glowing, like cloud breath, like the spirit of time itself. It drifted over his face, warm, cool, strangely peaceful. And as it touched him, his body began to change. His hair whitened, his back bent, his skin wrinkled like parchment touched by centuries. The years he had escaped within the palace now returned to him, softly, inevitably. When the mist cleared, the young fisherman was gone. In his place stood an old man, fragile but calm, serene. as if he finally understood the quiet truth of his fate. A distant sound rose from the sea, like the call of a turtle or the whisper of otohime carried by the wind. Taro turned toward the waves. A peaceful smile touched his lips, and slowly, gently, he walked toward the water, as though returning to a home beyond time. The villagers watched silently as he disappeared into the shimmering horizon. And thus ends the tale of Taro, a story of kindness, love, mystery, and the quiet, inevitable flow of time. Now, let us sink deeper into the meaning carried quietly beneath the waves of this story. At its heart, the tale of Taro is not a tragedy, but a meditation, a soft reflection on kindness, on time, and on the delicate connection between humans and the world of nature. The story begins with a simple act: Taro saving a small turtle. In Japanese folklore, the smallest gesture of compassion often opens the doorway to entire worlds of wonder. For kindness is seen as a force that ripples outward, touching lives and returning to the giver in unexpected ways. The turtle Taro rescued was not merely a creature. It represented nature itself, vulnerable, enduring, deeply intertwined with human life. When he protected it, he honored the ancient belief that every living thing carries a spirit, a heart, a breath, and so the sea opened to him, revealing a world normally hidden from human eyes. In this way, Taro's kindness became a key, unlocking a path toward Ryugujo, a realm built not on power or heroism, but on gentleness. Another quiet truth woven through the story is the nature of time. Time in the Dragon Palace flows like water, slow, drifting, not bound by human clocks or seasons. It moves with the rhythm of the sea, calm, eternal, a place where moments stretch like sunbeams beneath clear water. But the human world moves differently, swiftly, unyielding, changing with every tide. When Taro returns and finds centuries have passed, it is not a punishment. It is a reminder that the most beautiful moments in life often feel timeless, but they cannot be held forever. Life moves, seasons turn, and even the gentlest dream must eventually give way to the steady march of time. The tamatebako, the mysterious box, is a symbol of this truth. It contains the years he left behind, the weight of time waiting patiently for its rightful place. And when Taro opens it, he is not doing wrong. He is simply letting time return to him, as softly and inevitably as a wave returning to shore. This is why the story feels melancholic, yet peaceful. It accepts the truth that all things change, and that beauty, however brief, is still worth cherishing. The bond between Taro and Otohime is also woven with delicate meaning. Their love is gentle, deep, but never possessive. Otohime does not imprison Taro in her palace. She does not ask him to forget the human world. She honors the pull of his heart, even though it draws him away from her. This reflects a quiet philosophy, that love is not ownership, but release, allowing the one you care for to follow their path, even when it leads elsewhere. Their farewell is tender, soft, painful, yet filled with grace, a moment where two worlds touch briefly before drifting apart. And this, more than anything, is what gives the story its lasting beauty. It is a tale of love that does not cling, a tale that aches, but never wounds. The Dragon Palace itself is a symbol of escape, a sanctuary of beauty, a dream of a world without sorrow, without storms, a place where time rests and the heart grows light. For the fishermen and villagers who heard this tale long ago, Ryugu-jo was a comforting vision, a world beneath the waves where hardships could not reach, but no sanctuary, no matter how beautiful, can hold a human soul forever. We carry the memory of home, the pull of our roots, even when we find peace elsewhere. Thus, Taro's return is not a failure. It is a gentle truth that humans belong to the flow of life, to seasons, to change, to time. The legacy of Taro's tale still lives in Japan today. It appears in poetry, woodblock prints, children's books, folk songs, even place names along the coast. Some villages celebrate festivals in his honor. Others tell his story at local shrines. And parents still whisper the tale to children drifting into sleep. Artists paint scenes of Taro riding the great turtle, or entering the glowing gates of Ryugu-jo, or holding the tamatebako with quiet wonder. The story is more than a myth. It is a meditation on impermanence, on the beauty of kindness, and on the mysterious paths our lives may take. And for those who listen deeply, it becomes a reminder, a soft whisper saying, treasure your moments. They may be brief, but their beauty is what makes them precious. Be gentle with the world, and it may open doors you never expected. And when life changes, when time moves on, accept it like the tide, steadily, gracefully, knowing that every ending is also a return. Tonight, as you rest, perhaps you can carry with you the quiet heart of this story, its comfort, its sadness, its peace. Let it drift through your thoughts like soft currents, like moonlit waves, carrying you toward calm, toward sleep, toward the gentle dream waiting just beyond this moment. Before we say good night, let us return one last time to the calm rhythm of your breath, in and out, slow, soft, like waves sliding gently onto a moonlit shore. Let the story of Taro rest quietly in your mind, like a small lantern drifting on still water. There is nothing you need to do now. No tasks, no thoughts, no worries. Only this moment and the peaceful night surrounding you. As you rest, you may imagine the shimmering gates of Ryugu-jo closing slowly behind you, not in sadness, but in peace, carrying the promise that the calm you found there is always within reach. Picture the drifting jellyfish lanterns, soft, glowing, like tiny moons floating through the sea. Picture coral towers shimmering like jewels, and Otohime watching over you with quiet kindness. Imagine Taro standing at the edge of the endless horizon, calm, accepting, his heart at peace as he steps gently into the embrace of the sea. These images, soft and quiet, can drift with you now, settling like feathers across your thoughts, calming them, slowing them until they melt into sleep. Allow your body to sink deeper into your resting place. Feel your hands soften, your shoulders loosen, your breath becoming slower, gentler, quieter, with each passing moment. Everything is calm now. Everything is peaceful. The world is far away. You are floating in a quiet dream, a dream woven of moonlight, ocean breath, and ancient whispers. If your eyes are still open, you may let them fall now, slowly, softly, like petals drifting down from a cherry tree. And if they are already closed, simply sink deeper into the dark softness behind them, Tonight, you are safe, you are held, and the night embraces you like calm water. Thank you for journeying with me through this ancient legend, through waves and wonder, through time and memory. It has been an honor to guide you gently into this peaceful space. Sleep well, sleep deeply, and may your dreams be filled with soft tides, warm lantern light, and shimmering echoes of the Dragon Palace. Good night, dear listener. Good night, until the next story opens its quiet doors for you.